And then, well, I think cage might go along with that a little bit, isn't it? When you're trying to find a way to fit in a little bit, and feeling misunderstood.
Well, Cage was kind of about me. It was a combination of three things, kind of. But yeah, to answer your question, yes.
Yeah.
My friend Joy, who wrote on Invisible, she and I had a bit of a falling out at one point, and it was because I had a very knee-jerk reaction to a comment that I made, and I honestly said I did a very stupid thing. We should have went to coffee to talk about something, and I ended up just sending a quick Facebook message to her over something that was it was not thoughtful, and it was not as informed as it should have been, and it was with good intention because I love her, but after I did it, it really hurt our friendship, and so obviously I apologized, and she said she forgave me, and we've communicated since and are very, very civil, but we're not the friends that we were. And so I literally started off, I did a really stupid thing. I really messed up big time. Please forgive me. And it started to unravel into how I do this often. Like I put my foot in my mouth. And I have this image. So that's the second part. Like it started out about being sort of trying to own what stupid thing I said to my friend Joy, but of how I am kind of like that often, and I need to work on it. But of how my husband, I overheard him telling my bass player one time, because my bass player was dating a girl who he had just said affectionately, he's like, "Oh, she's crazy and I love her." And my husband said, "Well, I'm married to crazy, but I've learned that I love crazy." And almost seeing like an affection for, okay, some of the things that I recognize in myself as flawed make it a little bit endearing to my husband. And so in the chorus, when I say, so don't try to cage me or save me, I'm a wild thing, I'm a creature and I need your love for a wild thing. I've got issues, that's for sure, but it's why you kind of like me. I know it, boy. So it's like, to some extent, there's things that I need to work on, but to another extent, there are certain things that do make you you, and you don't need to get too caught up in trying to be someone you're not. And I had this very, very clear picture. I'm a huge Audrey Hepburn fan. And she, in Breakfast at Tiffany's, is sitting in the back seat of a cab with George Peppard, and he says, "I love you." And she says, "Love is a cage. I'm a wild thing." And he says, "I don't want to cage you. I want to love you." And she gets out and she runs off, and she's chasing after this cat that she said she didn't even care about. And he runs after her. And in that moment, I was very much reminded of how my husband knows how to let me fly, and he also knows when to bridle me back. It's like he recognizes that I'm a little bit of a wild thing, but at the same time he loves me enough to say, "You've gone too far, and I don't care if you don't want to hear this, but you've just gone too far." And so he shows me, and I see George Peppard in that film be that way with her, that everyone else in the movie, if anyone has seen that movie, they just do whatever Holly Golightly wants. They do whatever she says. They give her whatever she wants. They let her take advantage of them, and just never change. And George Peppard really, really loves her, to the point where he's willing to let her be who she is. But when she goes beyond who he believes is healthy, he loves her enough to lose her and say that you're not acting okay. And so all of that made up Cage of like, okay, I did something stupid, which is indicative of how I can be sometimes. I've got a husband who sometimes loves it about me, in certain ways, but then other ways challenges me to change. And then I saw Audrey and George in the back of this cab, and I was like,
whammo.
That's what I'm gonna write about. So that's Cage.